Okie dokie. Okay, almost there. There we go. Okay, Hillel's coming in. This light on. Dark here. Okay, so Boker Tov, good morning, everybody. We're just finishing getting our technology set up. Okay, so we are here in our Minion Zoom room. Hi, hello. And you are welcome to join us. And I would be amazed if Hillel has not already posted on Facebook.
I'm going to just now, so give me a second.
Do it so quick, man. I just figured you'd already done it.
That's a slow morning.
Hi, Bubba. Okay, so Hillel's posted if you want to join us in the Zoom room. Otherwise, just enjoy the davening via Facebook or YouTube. We're going to begin page 6. We're going to begin page 6. We're going to begin with the Birchot HaShachar. So I'm going to invite anybody and everybody who's listening and who cares to please rise and join with me for our opening blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech pivi nalavchin ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tzalma'o. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben Horin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam aroka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasal likol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim etzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanotein le'ayev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavir she'eina min ha'mayim v'yirtzon lefinecha Eloheinu. Ugnena yam b'chol yam lechem lechesed arachamim be'necha v'nei ko'enu v'tinglenu chasadim tovim Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. Alrighty, just letting Cantor Aaron off into the room as we now turn to page 14 for Psalm 30. Mizmor shir Chanukat habayit leDavid aromin Adonai ki delitan asmachtoy. Leheman yizamecha chavod v'lo yidom Adonai Elohai le'olam odeka. All righty, we turn to page 15 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Invite anyone who's currently reciting Mourner's Kaddish, either because they're observing the yard site or they're in the process of reciting the Kaddish, to rise and join with me. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'vizman kari v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbam v'rach le'olam lo me'almayan. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitmaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Asay shalom b'mramav huya asay shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Alrighty, so we now rise as we turn to page 16 and we continue with Psukei de Zimra and we begin with Baruch Shemar. Baruch Shemar v'haya olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Osev Reshit, Baruch Omer v'yaseh, Baruch Ozer Mekayem, Baruch Merachem al haaretz, Baruch Merachem al briot, Baruch Meshalem Sachar Tov Lireav, Baruch Hai La'ad v'kaim Lanetzach, Baruch Bodeo Matzil, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ha'el Ha'av Ha'rachamam Ha'mechalel B'fiyom Yishbach Rufo. Yahiche halmi melech meshubakim for Adat Shmo Gadol Baruch Atah Adonai melech mechulal batish bachot. May be seated, page 21. Ashrei. Ashrei shevetecha od yalucha selah. Ashrei mshakacha lo. Ashrei mshakacha tila lo David aramim chalachai melech barchashim chali olam be'ed b'chodol. Tihilat Adonai Adarber Pivi Varkava Sashem Kachole Lam Be'ed Vanach Nerech Yamet Avalam. Hallelujah, hallelujah, holy nafshi at Adonai. Adonai Shomeret Gerim Yatam V'Yamanai Yaded V'Derech Yishiim Yavei Timlocha Nailelam Elohai Tzil Nodovador. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Kitos Armalenu Kina Ina Bati Labo Neir Shmaim Anai Nifkei Israel Yechanes Our Famous for Levin. Mahagid Rav Yaakov, Hukav Mishpatav Yisrael, Lo Asachen Lechol Goy Mishpatim B'Yadu'um. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Adonai Min Hashamayim, hallelujah, B'Amarim, hallelujah. Vayaren Karen Liamotila Lechol Hasidav, Livnei Yisrael Am Kuravo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Shiva Mashiach Hadash Tilatov, Echal Hasidim. Leisor Machechem Bezikim Benekbedechem Vechevle Razel, Lasot Pemishpat Katuv, Atachu Lechol Hasidav. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. El Bekocho, hallelujah. Hallelujah, B'tzil Tzlei Shema, Hallelujah, B'tzil Tzlei Trua, Kol Anshama Telel Yah, Hallelujah, Kol Anshama Telel Yah. Hallelujah, Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen, V'Amen, Baruch Adonai Mitzvah Shalach Nishlayim, Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elohei Yisrael Eseini Flok Levado Baruch Shem Kavodo Le'olam V'Yimelech L'Odol Aretz Amen Ve'Amen. Okay, rolling right along. I kind of like seeing both Cantor Aronoff and Yael together on the same screen, but knowing that they're in different rooms. Same house, different rooms. Very nice. We're getting a little tour of the Aronoff house. Maybe if Mel came on in the kitchen, We could have like the full set. All righty. So we are going to continue on the top of page 29. If my dogs will stop barking. Sorry. Top of page 29 with your permission. Oh, it actually worked. Yishtabach. Yishtabach shimcha liad malkeinu ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol kadosh v'shamayim ba'aretz ki lechaneh. Brachot v'odot metav yad olam baruch atah Adonai el melech gadol b'tishbachot el ha'odot Adonai niflaot habocher b'shirei zimra melech elchei ha'olamim yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'yamad yivrach yutevam l'chmachutei b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayerecha b'et Yisrael b'agalav izman karim v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam lo'mei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yirmam v'yinaseh v'yitadah v'yitalei v'zal shmei d'kudashah brichu le'ela min kober chatav v'shirata tush b'chatav v'nechmata damiran b'yamav v'yimru Amen. If you're not already, I invite you to please rise. Page 30 for the call to worship, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam yotzer or u'borei choshech osei shalom u'borei et hakol. May be seated as we continue page 30. Ha'me'ir la'aretz v'ladin lechem rachamim u'v'tuvo m'desh b'chol yom tamed m'aseh v'reshit ma'rebu b'aseh kamei kamo. Kulam ahovim, kulam barim, kulam gibarim, v'kulam osim be'ema uviratzon kanam, v'kulam potim ethem p'shav Torah b'shira of Zimra, u'mvarchim shabchim farim aretzi matishim u'mamlichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol ha'gibo avanu ha'kadoshu. V'kulam mekablim alechem o mechuk shamayim zeh mizeh, v'notnim reshut zeh lazeh, Lakdisha Tamanachach Ruach B'Safar V'Rav D'Mar Kadosha Kulam Kechad Anim V'Yomrim V'Yarab Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvot Melech Ha'aretz Kevodo V'Ofanim V'Chayot HaKodesh B'Rash Gadol Mitnasim L'Matzrafim U'Tam Meshabchim V'Omrim Baruch Kevod Adonai Min Kamol. Or Chadash Otzion Ta'ir V'Nizkechu Lana Mehera Li'Ro Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer Hamei Orot Ahava Rabbah Ahav Tanu. Top of page 32. Adonai Eloheinu Shem Lekut. V'havienu l'shalom me'abar kanfot haaretz v'tolichenu k'miut le'artzeinu ki el poel yishuot atah u'banu v'charta mikol v'lashon v'kirevtan l'shimcha gadol sel bemet l'udot l'chaychet chavihava baruch atah Adonai habocher b'yamo Yisrael be'ahava Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'adecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinantam Levanecha Vidibarta Bam Vishivtecha Beveitecha Uvlechtecha Vaderech Uvshachcha Vkumecha Ikshartam Leot Al Yadecha V'Hayulatotafot Beninecha Taptam Mizuzot Beitecha Visharecha V'Haya Yishmoa Tishma Motzataya Shenachim Etzavetchem Hayom V'Ava Et Adonai. Adonai Elohechem Mehemet V'Yetziv L'Chanukah. L'dor v'dor hukayim u'shmo kayam v'chisan nachon u'malchuto v'emenat tolet kayamet u'drav chayim v'kayamin neminim nechmadin la'adolmei olamim. Emet shetahu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Malkeinu Melech Avotenu Golenu Goel Avotenu Yotzreinu Tzui Shvotenu Podenu Matzilenu Me'elam Shemecha Ein Elohim Zulatecha Ezrat Avotenu Atahu Me'olam. Top of page 35. Mageinu Moshia Livnecha Machel Chol Dor V'Ador Barum Elam Moshe. Tehilot Lel Elyon Baruch Hu Vorach Moshe Vnei Yisrael Lecha Anu Shra B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Chulam Mi Chamocha Balim Adonai Mi Chamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norah Tilot Osei Fele Shira Chadasha Shibichu Geulim L'Shimcha Al Sfatayam Yachad Kulam Hodu B'Im Lechu Ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vaed Zu Yisrael Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael Uvdech Numecha Yehuda V'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch At Adonai Gal Yisrael. All righty, if you're not already standing, then we invite everyone to please rise as we turn to page 36b for the blessings of the Amidah. We join together for those opening blessings through the Kedusha, and then afterwards, well, let's just say, you're on your own. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VaNorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei Bneihem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Ozer Fokei Moshiach Magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ufoked Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Eitim Atav Rav Lehoshia, Meshif Aruach Merida Gashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rafeh Cholim U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shinei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Midam Melach, Melech Memit V'Chayem Matzmiach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah Lachel Beitim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaMeitim. Nekadesh et Shimcha B'Olam, Kishem Shema Kishimato B'Shmei Maron, Kakatsu Vayad Neviyecha, V'Karazel Zev Yamar. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot, Melech Haaretz Kevodo, Lamatam Baruch Yameru. Baruch Kevod Adonai Min Kamov, Divrei Koshaka Katuv Lemor. Yimloch Adonai Le'olam Elohai Tzion L'dor Vador, Hallelujah. L'dor Vador Nagiga Lechet Netzach Netzakim Kedushat Chanakish, V'shivchacha Elohim Mekinu Le'yamush Le'olam Va'ed, Ki Amel Kadosh V'Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Tental Matarli Bracha. Okie dokie. All right, my friends. So how about some Hallel? Nah, we're not going to do Hallel today. Or not Hallel, I mean, what's that? Tachanun.
I thought you really meant Hallel.
Yeah, I think for a second I did. All righty, so we would be generally doing Tachanun today, but we're not going to do Tachanun today because we are here with the Samuel family, and among the Samuel family, we have Betsy Samuel, and Betsy Samuel is celebrating her bat mitzvah this week. Hey, Betsy! You're not on yet, so you don't have to be on camera yet. We're just mentioning your name, but you'll be on soon. Ashrei is coming up. But because we have Betsy here, and because she's celebrating her bat mitzvah, we unfortunately cannot say Tachanun. So I know that Hillel is crushed by this, just absolutely crushed that he can't say Tachanun, but what can you do? So we're just going to go right into the Torah portion of our tefillah for this morning. So we're going to be doing a wee bit of Torah learning in lieu of some Torah reading, and then we're going to be offering up some blessings. And some prayers there for Betsy. So we're going to start by doing our blessing for Torah study. I invite anyone, if you have a particular kavanah, we'll take a moment to just kind of set your mindset, set your intention to who you want to send out this Torah love to. And then we will say our blessing and just dive right into our text. We join together in the blessing for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We acknowledge you, God, as the source of all life, and grateful for the flow of life that comes from you, that enables us to come together, to learn and to grow, and hopefully do human better. Amen. Okay, so the Torah that I wish to share this morning is based on some Torah learning that I was able to do with our Torah on Tuesday group. Comes from this week's Torah portion, Parshat Vayeshev. And I mean, I know Hanukkah and all is coming and so forth, but I'm just going to dispense with the Hanukkah drashot until we're actually in Hanukkah, because I'll need to use all of them there. But so this one just focusing on the Torah portion, and as I said, it's Parshat Vayeshev, goes from chapter 37 into beginning, I think, of chapter 42, first verses or so of 42 in the book of Genesis, and is the focus now is all on Joseph. Right, we're moving the story. The narrative is now shifting from Jacob now to Joseph and his brothers, how they hated him, how they sold him into slavery, all of that good stuff. There's a little kind of aside, though it's a big aside, when you have Judah and Tamar in chapter 38. Fascinating story. Recommend that you read it so you can be sufficiently creeped out by the Bible. And then we get to chapter 39. And in chapter 39 is where we see Joseph down in Egypt and down in Potiphar's house. And in describing Joseph, it describes how the Lord was with him and how everything he did in Potiphar's house succeeded, and how Potiphar realized this and basically gave everything over in his house to Joseph. And so this is what it says. It says, he being Potiphar, left all that he had in Joseph's hands. And with him, he paid no attention to nothing save the food that he ate. And here's the key line, right? Now, Joseph was well built and handsome. Yafei to'ar v'yafei mar'eh, right? He was well built and handsome. So the question becomes for the commentaries, why is this line said at this particular point in time? Right? And the general feeling is that it notes Joseph as being well-built and handsome because of what follows. And what follows is the next phrase: after a time, his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph, and she said, "Shifra'i mi, lie with me." Right? And so now we're going to see this dynamic between Joseph and Potiphar's wife. And eventually she's going to accuse him of having attacked her, and he will be thrown into Pharaoh's dungeon. But the expression well-built and handsome is an interesting expression, because it happens to also be exactly the same way that Rachel was described. And therefore it draws a certain amount of attention, I think, from the biblical commentators. So a number of them say, listen, he was as beautiful and as handsome, right, and had just an amazing effect on the people around him in the same way that Rachel had this effect on Jacob. And that's why the Torah tells us this, because it then tells us why it is that Potiphar's wife was so hot for him, okay? However, there is one line of commentary that takes a very different tract, right? And says, no. The Torah's not telling us this because he was so attractive and therefore Potiphar's wife was drawn to him. No. Something else is going on. And it says the following. and this is a quote, this is quoting from Rashi, but he's quoting an earlier midrash that said, as Joseph got more settled in Potiphar's house, he started tending to his looks. He started tending to the way he looked. He curled his hair, he ate, he dressed. He got really into how he looked, right? And the midrash says, God saw this and said, because you are forgetting the mourning that your father is going through at this time, and you are so focused on yourself, I'm going to unleash the bear. And the bear that God unleashes is Potiphar's wife, right? And therefore, it doesn't tell us, it's not telling us that he was well-built and handsome as a way of explaining why Potiphar's wife was going after him, but it's explaining what he was doing, and Potiphar's wife going after him is actually a punishment and a test to the fact that he got distracted from what was right and what was important, right? So it's a very different take on why it is we have these two words, or this expression that he was well-built and handsome, to understand it. One is that Potiphar's wife being attracted to him is just a natural extension of this, and the other is, no, this is a reflection of his own selfishness, and Potiphar's wife going after him is a punishment, is a corrective to it. So lots of different ways that one can play with this kind of midrash and lots of different ways to connect it. What I would just like to focus on for us for this morning real briefly is just this. What the midrash seems to be rebuking Joseph for is that he was so into himself, he forgot others, right? In this case, his father's mourning his death. He didn't attempt to reach out to him. He didn't attempt to make contact with him. He let his father assume that that he was still dead. And while his father is in this place of mourning, Joseph is tending to himself. That is just unacceptable from the point of view of the midrash. That level of selfishness, a focus on oneself when others are suffering, right, is unacceptable. And that's what happens sometimes when we get so into ourselves. And there are points and times in our life when it happens to all of us. Some of us, it happens every day, right? When we're so focused on who we are and how we are in this world and taking care of ourselves, right, that we completely forget and become blind to our obligations to other people, right? And there is a balance that needs to be struck. There is a legitimate amount of self-interest that I'm allowed to show myself. But when that goes so beyond just legitimate self-interest and I am ignorant of the world around me and the implications that my actions have, that point in time, it becomes a problem. And there needs to be a corrective to that balance. As I said, I think all of us have this dynamic where we are sometimes way too focused on ourselves and just forget our obligations to others, forget that there are others out there who we can help, who we can serve, who we can be there for, because we're just focused on ourselves. And as I said, there's a certain level of self-focus that's appropriate. We're focusing on Betsy a whole bunch this week and this weekend, and by the way, she totally deserves it. She's worked hard, and everyone should have those moments, and everyone, even during the day, has some moments where they need to take care of themselves. It's just finding the right balance for it. I think about this in context sometimes of what's going on in our country when it comes to observing certain medical regulations about social distancing and wearing masks. And I sometimes fear that we become so focused on the issue of our own freedoms and no one can tell us to do what we don't want to do, that we forget that we're part of a larger society, that our individual actions of taking care of ourselves have implications and ripple effects to the society around us, and that our not doing all that we can do in terms of the advice from doctors about mask wearing and social distancing and washing, right? It's not just about us. It's about the effect that it has. And if you want to know the effect that it has on others, it's real simple. Just read the reports about what's going on in our hospitals. Because at the end of the day, right, that is where the ripple effect is going to be felt from our own actions. And so there seems to be, even within our society, a dynamic of we need to start paying a little bit more attention to how our actions implicate and infect others, rather than just focusing on ourselves. So I think of that on a societal level and wonder about that balance. I think about it on a personal and a communal level. And this is what the Torah challenges us to consider today. All righty, my friends, and that is our Torah study for today. So I'm going to invite people to turn to, if you wish, page 13 for Kaddish D'Rabbanan. If you wish to join with me, you may, you do not need to, so you do not need to stand, but if you wish to, you may. If you wish to, if you're reciting the Mourner's Kaddish for whatever reason, you may also join in with me as well. As I said, page 13, this is our way of sealing our learning and our intention for this day. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah ve'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam lo me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata za'amiran bi'alma v'yimru Amen. Al Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Tamidechon v'al kol Tamidei Tamidechon v'al kol mando eskim b'raita diva tra haden v'diba chol atar v'yatar Yehei lehon echon shlama rabba china v'chista v'rachamim v'chayin arichin v'zana revicha or for kanam in kadam avahon divishmaya v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayin tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu barachamav yasei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. All righty. Cantor Aronoff, I now turn things over to you and Betsy.
All righty. Yasher Koach, Rabbi Bernhard. Appreciate it. Love you.
Thank you.
Be well. Betsy, Boker Tov. Hello there. Why don't you unmute yourself? There you are. So Betsy, first of all, we welcome you to Minyan this morning. And this is your first time attending Minyan as one who counts. I mean, you always count because you're always important. But I mean in the ritual and Jewish Minyan sense. This is the first time that we can count you as a, sorry, Rabbi Bernhard, adult member of our Minyan, where you are one of the 10 requisite people to create a Minyan. And so because of this, and because we're so happy to welcome you in this new capacity into the community that you've been a part of anyway, but you are now in a new capacity, we would like to share the Shehechianu bracha with you. And so, Betsy, would you say Shehechianu for us? And we're going to all answer Amen. Do you have, by the way, Betsy, do you have, no, never mind. That's okay. If you have a kippah, you can put that on, or if you'd like, we can all say Shehechianu together. What would you prefer?
All together.
Okay. With your parents, I think would be nice.
Yes.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechinu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh.
And
Amen.
all of us can say Amen. Amen. Okay, so Betsy, here's the thing. If we were at Shul and we had a Torah with us, and we don't have a Torah with us right now, but if we were at Shul and we had a Torah with us, the Torah would be sitting on the table right in front of us because we will not have put it away yet. And when the Torah is sitting on the table in front of us, it gives us an opportunity to say various blessings that we call the Mishaberach blessings. Mishaberach means, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless this person for this particular reason. And we have a Mishaberach prayer for all sorts of things, for a person who just goes up to the Torah for an aliyah, for somebody who is about to get married, for somebody who is ill, for somebody who has just had a kid, for somebody, all these different things, for somebody who's just had a child and they want to name the child, particularly a daughter, in shul. And there's a Mishaberach for a bat mitzvah. I think we'll choose that one. So we're going to give you a special blessing this morning. special Mishberach. For this, I need your name in Hebrew. What is your name in Hebrew?
Bela Devora Bat Yisrael Chanoch Esther Bracha.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Say that again slowly.
Bela Devora
Uh-huh.
Bat Yisrael Chanoch Esther Bracha.
Okay. Now, by the way, Yasher Koach to you for actually knowing not only your own Hebrew name, which most people know, but to know that immediately that your Hebrew name fully is you, daughter of your parents. That's terrific. Now that I said that much, we'll see if I can actually remember what you said. Here we go. You can help me out if I need help on your name. Mi sheberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarivka Rachel v'Leah hu yavarech et Bela Devora Bat Yisrael Chanoch ve'Esther Deborah.
Bracha.
Esther Bracha. Sorry about that. Sheigia limitzvot v'ta'aleh lichvor hamakom v'lichvor Torah biyom Shabbat. Hakadosh Baruch Hu yishmereha v'yichayeha v'yichonen et liba liot shlema im Adonai Eloheha lahagot b'torato lelechet b'drachav v'lishmor mitzvotav v'yishlach bracha v'yatzlacha b'chol maseh yadeha yehi ratzon she'yizku horeha legadla letorah ulechupa ulemaasim tovim v'timtzachen v'sechel tov ben Elohim v'adam v'nomar Amen. And this means, Betsy, may God, who blessed our ancestors, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, bless you, Betsy, Bela Devora, Bat Yisrael, Chanoch, Esther, Bracha. Did I get that right? Okay, good. Who, here it says, has been called to the Torah, but you weren't called to the Torah today. Who will be called to the Torah on Yom Shabbat Kodesh coming up, upon reaching the age of mitzvot, with reverence for God and the Torah. May God protect and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, to study Torah and to fulfill mitzvot, and to walk in God's ways. May your parents, by the way, they're still in charge. May your parents continue to guide you along the path of maturity, to guide you to a love of Torah, to the chuppah. Remember what the chuppah is? What's the chuppah? You know what the chuppah is?
Stand under it when you get married.
That's it. So hopefully you will one day, should you decide to do so, stand under the chuppah and get married, and to a life of good deeds. May you find favor before God and all the community. And we all say amen and mazel tov. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. There goes Hillel throwing candy at you. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yay, lanu. Yehei lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehei lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehei lanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehei lanu, ulecho Yisrael. So Betsy, we sing this song of Mazel Tov to you, and I just heard some Mazel Tov voices. I don't want to interrupt them. Everybody again say Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
So I want to tell you something. So we're welcoming somebody to our minyan this morning, David Kaplinsky, his name is. He's not been to minyan with us at Adat Ari before. It's his first time. He could be saying Shechianu too, and we hope you come back many times. But notice how he's also singing and happy and wishing you Mazel Tov. Because Betsy, the fact is that no matter who people are, whether we know you or not, we in the Jewish community are all happy. Ulechol Yisrael, as we just said in our song. We are all happy and grateful to be welcoming a new responsible member of our community into our midst. Somebody who has now a new and different role in the community, one who's got the responsibility upon her, like every other Jewish adult, to be able to make a minyan when called upon, and to be able to help participate in the world in a way to, as Rabbi Bernhardt says, to do human better and to make all humanity, hopefully, to make this world a better place. So we wish you Mazel Tov. Few other things that I add to every bar and bat mitzvah that I will also add to you. Number one, I just want to say, well, this is not something I add to every bar and bat mitzvah, but I have to say this. I have had the honor of being your tutor through this process. And I would like to say it has been an honor and it has been a joy. You are terrific to work with. You have accomplished so much and learned so much in your very careful and quiet way. And I've loved to watch that, and I've loved to watch you grow. And so that's the first thing I have to say. The second thing I have to say is, and this I do say to all of our kids, this is not the end of the road. This is a stepping stone along the path of your Jewish life and your Jewish education. And so I hope and I trust with your parents who know this value of Jewish education that you continue your education, whether it be in our confirmation seminar program at Adat Ari, which is an exquisite program, or if you decide you want to, for example, focus more on Hebrew language. Los Angeles Hebrew High School would be a good place for that. Hillel's nodding. We are both alum of LA Hebrew High School. So there are all sorts of ways for you to continue the pursuit of knowledge and to continue to make yourself an educated Jewish adult as you grow in your path along life. And with that, I want to say Mazel Tov. I don't know if your former teacher, Yael, has anything to add or not, but I know that she wanted to wish you well as well.
Mazel tov.
I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but still. So we're all very proud of you and very happy. I think that's everything. Hillel, again, thank you for the candy. We all appreciate that. Can't wait till we can actually experience that in person as well. Rabbi Bernhard, shall we continue with Ashrei?
I think Ashrei on page 78 would be a beautiful thing.
All right. Betsy, you're up for that.
Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha, Od Yalucha Sela.
Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am sharonai Elohav.
Tehila leDavid, Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech, Vavarcha Shimcha Le'olam Va'ed.
B'chol yom avarcheka, va'ahalela shimcha le'olam va'ed.
Gadol Adonai Uhulal Me'od, Veli Dulato Ein Cheker.
Dor ledor yishabach ma'asecha, ugvorotecha yagidu.
Hadar Kivod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha.
Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru, ugdulatcha asaprena.
Zecher Rav Tuvcha Yabiu, V'tzid Katcha Yeranenu.
Anun v'rachum Adonai, erech hapayim ugdol chased.
Tov Adonai Lakol, V'rachamav Al Kol Ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha, v'chasidecha yevarchucha.
Kevod Malchutcha Yomeru, Ugvuratcha Yedaberu.
Leodia livnei Adam gvurotav, uchvod Adam malchuto.
Malchutcha Malchut Kol Olamim, Umemshaltecha Bechol Dor Vador.
Tomech Adonai lechol hanoflim, v'zokef lechol hakfufim.
Einei Chol Elecha Yisaberu, Ve'ata Noten Lahem Et Ochlam Be'yito.
Poteach et yadecha, umaspia lechol chai ratzon.
Zadik Adonai Bechol Derachav, V'chasid Bechol Ma'asav.
Parov Adonai lechol korav, lechol asher yikra'uhu ve'emet.
Ritzon Yereav Yaseh, Ve'et Shavatam Yishma Ve'yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai et kol oavav, v'et kol rishayim yashmid.
Tehilat Adonai Yedaber Pi, V'varech Kol Basar Shem Kocho Le'olam Va'ed. V'anachnu Nevarech Ya, Me'ata Ve'ad Olam. Hallelujah.
Yeah, sure.
You got a
Okay.
great voice too.
Terrific. We look forward to Shabbat morning, where Betsy is going to lead us, by the way, in Shachrit and do the most of the Torah reading, aside from her Haftorah and her Drasha, and a terrific Adon Olam. Can't wait for that either. All right. Mazal tov.
Yeshikach, Betsy. We now continue in the middle of page 79, where we recite Psalm 20 for the last time for the next 8 days. Lam natzech mizmor leDavid. Hema karu v'naflu v'nachnu kamnu v'nito dad Adonai Hashem elchineinu v'yam koreinu uval etzion goel shofei feshakovnu Adonai v'nizot v'tiatam. V'yata kadosh yeshev tilo Yisrael v'karazel zeh v'yamar kadosh 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 Adonai tzvot melech haaretz kevodo. V'tisaini rafesh macharai kol rash gadol baruch kavod Adonai min kamod Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Vayivtechu v'chayidei shemecha ki lo azavta dorshecha Adonai Adonai chafetz mansi kol yagdil Torah v'yadir yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba v'yamad yivrach yutei v'mlich malchutei b'chayechanu v'yamechanu v'chaydecha beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kari v'yimru Amen Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam l'mei almayam yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitamam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalei v'ytalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata zamiran b'yam V'imru Amen. Titkabel Satan Baton the Israel Kadam V'Hon Dishmaya V'imru Amen. Yesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Leinu Israel V'imru Amen. Say Shalom B'Romav Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Israel V'imru Amen. Rise now as we turn to page 83 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol Latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu ki goei haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu shehu notei shamayim v'yoser haaretz U'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al u'shtinatu zo b'gavhei meramim u'Eloheinu heinu remech malkeinu efetz ulato kakatu b'torato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha Yadonai uli b'shamayim ima'al v'yal haaretz mitachat heinu dakei mikaveh l'kanel. Kakatu b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Today, we observe the art sites of Alex Chernoff, Israel Cohn, Joseph Cohn, Yaakov Gonscher, Jacob Lazaro, Celia Silverberg, Jeanette Simon, and John Sanger. there's any names I've neglected to mention, I invite you to put them in the comment section. Otherwise, we turn to page 84 for the Mourner's Kaddish, and invite anyone who's reciting Kaddish, anyone who's observing your site, to join with me. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabah, ve'amad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach le'olam lo me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata da'amiran bi'ama v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Aseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. We turn now to page 89 for the psalm for today. Hayom Yom Chamishi b'Shabbat Shabo Hayu Haleviim Omrim b'Beit Hamikdash Lamnatzeach Halagidit La'asaf Harinu La'Ezeinu Hari Tiku L'Chodesh Shofar B'Kesei Yom Chagenu Kichok Yisrael Hu Mishpat L'Elhei Yaakov Edot B'Slech Shmo Tzot Al Eret Mitzrayim. V'sanei Adonai yikshulo v'itam le'olam v'yakilechu mechelech hitam yitzor davash asbieka. Turn back once more to page 84 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah ve'almad divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kari v'yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach le'olam lo me'almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechmata da'amiran bi'ama v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. Aseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. All right, listen, Boker Tov, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, just a big shout out and Yasher Koach to Betsy and to the whole Samuel family. And Mazel Tov, guys. And looking forward to sharing the weekend with you and being able to celebrate with y'all. And want to thank everyone both here in the Zoom room and out there for joining us this morning. And take care of yourself, take care of those around you, be safe, be careful, live, love, learn, my friends, and have a good rest of the day. Take care, everybody. We're going to
happy Hanukkah.
All right, and happy Hanukkah. And join us at 5:30 tonight for candle lighting and all the program that we have. Check out our website and check out all the links there for joining us.